Hi everyone and welcome to another video. So in this video we will be working on a Volkswagen Touareg 3-litre diesel engine. Adam, owner of the vehicle, contacted us actually last year when he booked the car with us. He's from Bristol, so he had to travel a bit to actually get to us. He was mentioning over the emails, I think he has some rattling noise from the engine, but so far I didn't have anything. And I don't really want to drive the car because he did mention there's some oil leaks coming from the engine as well. In this video we will be changing the timing chains. Again, we will probably remove the engine from the vehicle to have better access to the rest of the components as well. We've got all our drill bits ready to actually rotate the timing chain as usual, and everything what we need from TPS is already here pre-order. First thing first, what we're gonna do, lift the car up, drop all the covers, and we will see where's the oil leaks coming from, what extra job actually needs doing, and we go from there. So let's lift the car up now and we will go from there. So as soon as I remove the under tray from the car, we have oil dripping onto our freshly cleaned floor. Absolutely brilliant. So this is just a couple of seconds after the engine is running with the BG flush inside of it. This is the under tray himself, filled with oil, so I'm assuming it was leaking for a while now. This is not even good to actually perform a test drive with this kind of oil leak. So it is leaking from the front, but it's leaking from the back as well. You can see the power steering pipes filled with oil and the subframe as well. So this is actually the plan, to drop the engine with the gearbox and the exhaust on the floor. So we have to remove the rear subframe for the gearbox, then the lower subframe with the suspension arms, and once everything is out of the way with the front differential and the arms, we can drop the box with the engine. Meanwhile, the engine oil was drained out. I already started stripping the suspension, so the lower arm is ready to come off. The dry shaft are already loosened and the truck rod ends are off, so we are ready to remove the lower subframe. And the lower subframe is coming off along with the front differential, which is actually just slide onto the prop shaft from the transfer box, so easy removal. Once we are finished from the bottom, we disconnect the exhaust and all the pipes from the gearbox, electronics and power steering. We will move from the top of the engine, where we still have to disconnect the whole loom, ECU. There are some boost pipes, coolant pipes and some ground cables. So once everything is free, we can remove the engine. And there's our 3-litre TDI on the table finally, so we can see all the oil leaks from the front is actually coming from the top of the engine. So we have to inspect deeper if there's a problem with the large gasket, which is actually the oil pump at the same time, I think, or it's just leaking from the oil filter housing. All the O-ring seals behind there, well, we don't know yet. We have to clean the whole thing up and actually inspect where it's leaking from, but I don't really want to take the whole front and replace the big gasket because that is a big job. So we will continue with the exhaust. That will be the first thing that will come off, and then we have to continue with the engine loom, the fuel system, the injectors gotta come out. Yeah, we have to remove the whole rocker covers, so we have to get a new gasket for the rocker covers. And once everything is off the engine, we will continue with the gearbox, so that's gotta be separated from the engine to get to the timing chains. And there's our lower subframe with the front differential what we removed, along with the steering rack, which is mounted onto the upper subframe. And this is how the vehicle looks like without the engine, just an empty hole. So Adam left us this box in the car for the service for the automatic gearbox with all the gaskets, train and the magnet. So we will do the automatic gearbox service as well. And this is exactly the reason why removing the engine out of the car, if something like this happens, is much easier access. So as you can tell, the internals are quite clean. The engine only covered like 99,000 miles, so that's absolute nothing for these diesel engines. Once the left hand side exhaust manifold is removed, we can go on to the right hand side. So before we will get to the exhaust manifold, we have to remove this pipe which is coming from the turbo to the front intercoolers. Again, the access is not the best, and I can't imagine we will actually do it when the engine is in the car. We will get to another issue when I have a problem with one of the bolts which are holding the exhaust manifold to the turbo. So the triple square head just actually snapped open and I wasn't able to remove one of the bolts, so we have to use some special tools to actually remove it. And again, it will be a massive struggle to do it when the engine is in the car. Once the exhaust manifolds left and right are out of the way, we can finally remove the turbo. Next up, we have to remove the starter motor, and we will loosen the bolts which are holding the torque converter onto the gearbox. After 2 million bolts, we are finally taking the last timing chain cover off, and nothing is happening. Everything is in place, nothing is damaged. So the engine is in the timing position, the camshafts left and right, balance shaft along with the high pressure fuel pump is in place, and there's our locking pin for the crankshaft. Yes, we are using drill bits as timing tools because 8.5mm drill bit is direct fit. So we will need new gear sprockets, we will need new guides, we will need new oil tensioner for the second chain, 2 timing chains, and we will need oil tensioner for the main chain. Before installing the new bits, we have to clean up the engine block from all the silicone. Once everything is cleaned up, we will start with the gear sprockets for the camshaft, balance shaft and the high pressure fuel pump. Afterwards, we will fit the shorter chain for the balance shaft and the fuel pump, and as a last thing we are fitting the long chain along with all the guides and the tensioner. Once everything is in place, we can release the oil tensioners, and as a last thing we are tightening the new bolts for the gear sprockets on the camshafts.
They love it when I turn up the bass.
So once everything is in place and we tied everything to the Newton meter spec, we will tune the engine a few times and we can start putting the nice and clean timing chain covers back on. So whatever gasket we are removing from these engines, we always replace them for new ones. Oil system, coolant system, even the copper washers for the injectors. You can tell these washers were done, even one of the injectors was leaking, so it was definitely good to replace them. So these ports on side of the cylinder heads are there for a reason. In case a copper washer is gone, all the pressure for the combustion chamber is going out through these ports and is not going inside the engine. Next up, we have to clean the engine from the bottom because we will remove the oil sump to reseal it, because we are suspecting there was oil leak as well. Before fitting the turbo, we still have to drill out the broken strut from the turbo, and we have to replace one stud because the thread was damaged on the end. Now we can finally move on to the front of the engine. So I spoke to Adam, and obviously we come to the decision we will replace the water pump just in case, because there's no service history about it. We also did manage to find the oil leak, and on the end it's coming from the oil filter housing gasket. Unfortunately, Audi is not selling the gasket separately, so we will be replacing the whole housing along with the gasket. The good thing is it comes with the thermostat at the same time, so that will be replaced, and we will have to remove the crankshaft pulley, and we will replace the crankshaft seal from the front, and that should sort out all the oil leaks. Before we will fit the engine back into the car, I would like to do the oil service on the gearbox, but unfortunately there was a miscommunication, and this happened
A few moments later.
So I asked Miroslav if he did drain the oil, and he told me he did, but unfortunately we forgot to remove the tube, which is the oil level at the same time, and there was still like 5 liters in the box. So the metallic powder that you can see on the magnets is the main reason why the gearbox service should be done this way. They always have to be clean or replaced, otherwise the new oil will get very quickly contaminated and it will not hold the amount of the metallic powder, and it might damage your gearbox. And we are filling the gearbox with fresh oil. Afterwards we will get into the correct temperature and check the oil level one more time. Once the engine is in place and everything is connected, it's time to refill all the fluids, so coolant, power steering, oil along with the BG product, and we can start the engine. So once the engine was in the correct temperature, we just top up the oil into the correct level. Okay guys, so that's the Volkswagen Touareg gone finally. So Adam took the car. As you can tell, we are still busy. Miroslav is working days and nights on the Q7 at the moment. He just finished the Volkswagen Passat and Leons, and I don't know what any other cars are coming down here. So yeah, more content is coming in, so definitely stay tuned. We have a few more interesting cars where we actually start filming and stuff. So yeah, we'll see you in the next video, and take care. See you.
They love it when I turn up the bass.